So, welcome, ladies. I'm back to my next episode of my podcast, Dating Tips for Single Women. I'm your host, Antia Boyd, founder of findthebonelite.com. And today, I have my dear friend and expert, Caroline Andrews, here with me. Hi, Caroline.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So, ladies, today we're going to be talking about something that's more external and something we talk so much about the internal transformation, but actually Caroline is going to help us a little bit more today to also do something on the external, right? To get rid of blemishes in a non-abrasive way. And we're going to talk more about this. So let me tell you a little bit more about who Caroline is. So I'm sure you're curious. So Caroline has over 15 years of study in healing, spirituality, relationships, yoga, health, and personal development. She has found the many keys to pleasure, balance, and health for women. Also, Karen understands that women seek natural beauty solutions to feel more beautiful and radiant. And in response to this desire, she has been the premier facilitator of holistic skin clinics in Southern California. Holistic skin clinics offer natural skin blemish removal that is safe, non-invasive, natural, very important these days, and effective, so women can look and feel their best naturally. So welcome, Caroline.
Thank you. I appreciate that intro.
Yay, awesome. Nice. Yeah, and it's nice to have like a little bit of a change of pace here and talk about that, because we're talking about so many times about people and women go more into what's actually natural, what's a natural way to deal with my skin, right? As we become more conscious about that we are our skin, we are our organs, right? So how can we be the most loving with all of our parts, right? So that's why I love what you have to share today, because it actually ties into being a conscious single woman and actually also attracting a conscious man into your life. So tell me, how did you begin facilitating those holistic skin clinics? What's your passion behind that? Why do you think that's such a huge part of life that a woman needs to know about, needs to be educated about?
Yes. Well, thank you, Antia. So for me, health and wellness is really vital in having the life of your dreams. Like in a time where women are using so much toxicity like Botox and other chemical products to try and look younger, and more attractive, I made it a point to offer my clients and friends and women access to true skincare to not only look great, but also save their lives. So it was about 10 years ago when I connected with one of the most prominent internationally recognized functional medicine doctors. His name is Dr. Adiel Tel-Oren, who developed a natural form of blemish removal. And we coordinated these free skin screenings so people could truly understand their skin. And we've removed thousands of unsightly moles, blemishes, tags, growths, birthmarks, cancerous and precancerous lesions that actually make people feel self-conscious. And we save people from damaging effects of skin cancer by actually doing these removals. So all in all, we really want to make people look great and healthy again.
Wow, that's so amazing, Caroline. So, I'm curious about the whole skin cancer, right? By removal. So basically, are you saying like by you actually removing the lesions, right? Or whatever is like showing as like the skin cancer, that actually you actually help people not even go deeper with the skin cancer and actually remove it?
Yes. Yeah. It's
wow.
it's such a simple procedure. It's a liquid that's applied directly to the lesion, whether it's a mole or tag or precancerous. It literally constricts the blood flow to the lesion. It forms a scab and then eventually falls off. And then the people come back for a recheck, like in 2 to 3 months, to make sure that we got all the roots. If they need a second treatment, we do it free of charge. So it's non-invasive. There's no cutting or bleeding, and it's the most simple, safe, effective method of getting rid of these skin tags and lesions.
Mm. And I really love that, especially talking about cancer, Caroline, because, one thing I really feel like when we just cut something out, there's like a reason why it came up in the first place. So if you just cut it out, it's like an invasive procedure, and it actually like weakens, the self-healing process even more.
Right.
So, I mean, let's just talk about that, how actually your procedure actually also helps foster that self-healing process, and actually that the person stays in their immunity.
Right.
Being weakened, right?
Right. And, that whole belief where, I don't want to say anything bad about dermatologists, but they tend to go and want to do a biopsy, put a needle into it. And if it is something cancerous, you've possibly spread it. So our way is so less invasive. This is safe. Pregnant women, babies. I mean, this is so safe to do on any animals. We do it on animals. So think of that as, just a new alternative way to treat. And we really like to get it before it becomes cancerous. When it's in that developing stages, where a lot of times dermatologists say, let's just watch and wait. We're like, no, remove it so it never becomes an issue for the person. Not to mention, the consciousness of people get self-conscious when they're out dating, right, and meeting new people. If there's something on their face, especially a mole or something that's making them self-conscious, the face heals the best. It's the least amount where you can barely even tell it's been done, because it's so close to the heart. So that's another cool thing about this procedure.
And it's so interesting, Caroline, because I love this guy's way of thinking, because it's basically even like with, what they say with limiting belief systems. So if we just actually transfer to that, you constrict the blood flow to whatever's creating this, right? So it's the same with the limiting belief systems. You starve them, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same idea. And it's so organic, and I really see that connection and that congruence, right? With like how our mind works, how our body works. And that's really in sync.
Yeah. And what people don't know, Antia, is that any skin birthmark or growth, it's actually your central nervous system is having to send blood flow to keep it alive. Once you remove that, it takes pressure off the central nervous system. It's one less thing that it has to send blood to keep alive. So some people even have like issues of health that they've struggled with disappear when they have their skin tags removed. I mean, it's crazy what we've seen. Isn't that wild?
Wow. And think about it. I mean, you want to do whatever you can to strengthen your nervous system, because it has so much to deal with to begin with, right? And to think like, oh, I had a birthmark, I always had it my whole life, so it's not like anything bad, right? But to actually think like, no, like your central nervous system is actually still gonna need some energy and blood, to send the blood to it.
Right.
And whatever you can remove, you actually, I feel like it's like a release. It's like where your central nervous system gets to say, oh, I don't have to deal with that anymore, right?
Exactly. One less thing to,
yeah,
exactly. That's not serving you anyway, right?
Yeah. And then really it increases your capacity, like your immunity, right? Like
yes, absolutely.
Everything else that comes your way, right?
Right.
And again, I like the analogy because it starts with something so small like a birthmark, and you don't think it's something, that's really like, who cares, right? I've had it my whole life. Right. But it's the same with just like one thought or one belief system or one whatever. So how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yep.
Right? So I really see like because what it really takes is like change your thinking.
Yes.
You do this procedure, like your way of thinking will change, right? Like, wait, where else can I constrict?
Exactly.
My my flow, my focus, right? Yeah. What do I feed and what should I?
Right.
It's so brilliant. Like I just really love how aligned it is and how harmonious.
Right.
It really is with our consciousness.
Yes.
Right. And, of course, this is a podcast for single women, and I hope to get some dating tips. So do you have a story that relates to dating, when it comes to skin and skin health?
Right. I do. There was one particular man that I'm thinking of that had several different like molds on his face, and he was just kind of going to ignore it and no big deal. And then one of them started looking a little suspicious. So went ahead and had the procedure done on one of them, and he couldn't believe how simple and easy that was to, to do the process. So he came back and had like 7 molds on his face because he was a really, blonde hair, blue-eyed, had been in the sun a lot. And literally it made him look 15 years younger, and he felt like he became a chick magnet because he literally looked younger, so he felt better about himself.
Yes.
So it raised his vibration. He thought, gosh, I wish I'd found this 10 years ago. But I was like, hey, better late than never. And he just became this chick magnet, like I said, because he felt so good about himself. He was not as self-conscious as he was before with the different molds.
So, oh my God. And can you imagine how much of his nervous system he released? Like if he had like, who knows how many molds, right?
Yeah, he had like 40 to 50 removed off of his back, that the rest of that year.
Wow. Is that crazy? Can you imagine like how much energy that cost the body?
Yeah.
Right.
I know. And the derm, he would have been cut on and had all these horrible scars had he done the dermatologist. It can leave just a little bit of a discoloration on the rest of the body, but that's so much less significant than a huge scar from being cut on.
Totally. I mean, like you just really have to see as opposed to what, right?
Exactly.
What you have to deal with. And to really see that like he became a chick magnet because, on the outside, obviously visually, but also like I bet inside of him, he just felt more space and more, aliveness and more like, what's next, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he probably felt physically better because of all that stress was taken off his central nervous system.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's so great. And do you have a woman?
A woman, this one woman, she had a really significant mole on the tip of her nose. So you can imagine, that's almost right where the focus point of where people look. And that was really beautiful to watch that, fall off and her feel so much more comfortable with herself by, not everyone, she felt everyone was looking at that part of her nose. And probably people weren't, but just so self-conscious. And she was like in her 40s. And that really changed her life. I mean, she felt so much better about herself and was so grateful and told so many people, referred so many people because they saw her, after and saw what a significance it did for her. So the face is amazing. Like I said, it heals the best. But, people have all types of growths all over their bodies. And this liquid works anywhere on the body, even in the mucous membranes, and I've seen it done in the mouth, up the nose, in the eyes, in the ears, in the other, private areas that we have. It works everywhere. It's
wow. And of course, Karen, I have to ask that because, as a listener, what I would be wondering is like, are there any side effects that I have to expect? Anything that I need to prepare for?
No side effects. Occasionally, we had people that had ones under their armpit area, and when it was in the summer, if they didn't, they had to keep it dry. So one time, a woman got infected because she was not keeping it dry.
Okay, yeah.
So, but she healed okay. It just took a little bit longer. So that's the only thing that I'm aware of that was a negative say, so to speak. And again, at least it healed and the skin tag, was gone.
Yeah. And it's just important to know that like, hey, apart from that, there's nothing. Just make sure this stays dry for a while. It's normal. It's like when you get a tattoo, when you get other things, right? Like it's an area where you just want to protect it for a couple of days and then you're all good. So that's common sense, right?
Yeah. You have to keep it dry for like 24 hours after you have that one area treated. That's all we ask.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense, because the skin needs to just rebalance and So, wow. I mean, apart from that, like no side effects, I mean, it's amazing.
Yes.
Why would not everyone do that?
I agree.
Any blemishes, any birthmarks, any lesions, any tags or, molds, right? It's so funny because I'm sure some listeners are just probably looking down their body right now because it has become so usual to them. They probably don't even think about it anymore, right? Like I literally was like thinking, wait, do I have that? Because like you just think for a moment,
Yeah, and you can't see the back of your body. So the doctors that do this offer a free scan to look at your whole body.
Yeah.
Not free of charge. You're not obligated to treat anything. And at least and they can point out ones that you may want to have removed. Not to
Great.
mention that it's all is a nonprofit. So that's really what I'm super passionate about, is the money goes to a humanitarian project in Nepal, saving orphan children. So what better way
Wow.
for your funds to go than if you do decide to have treatment, it's all for a great cause.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
what other reason do you have not to do this, right? I mean, it's
No.
like, you feel amazing, you give back, right? So it's all about contribution. And so if the women are like, okay, I'm ready, I'm curious to learn more, tell me more.
Yeah, so if they want to find out more, I suggest that they email me at skinclinic@gmail.com. So SKIN and then CLINIC @gmail.com. I also have a website called skinclinic.tv.com.
Okay,
Go
skin.
there and they can hear, different videos, and people have testimonials and where to go to find out more information. So either one of those, the best way to reach me, and I'm happy to tell you when the next clinics are available.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for being on the podcast today, Caroline, and bring a different topic. It's really interesting and something we don't really think about, but we just kind of, that's what we talk about, bringing things more to an awareness.
Right.
And then, like, what do you do with it? Right? And actually removing it in a natural, harmonious way. So either email skinclinic@gmail.com or go to skinclinic.tv.com.
Correct. Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Wow. I'm sure like so many listeners are so excited about this, to learn about this, and like, I want to learn more, right? Or some are just jumping right in. So I'm really excited to hear all the success stories that are coming out of this and all the photos that I get to see.
Right.
Of all the transformations. So thank you so much for being on the podcast today, Caroline, and for sharing your wisdom and just really bringing like something to the light that people don't think about, or that they don't think there's an alternative.
Right. Yeah. And thank you for having me here. And I love the work you and your husband are doing. I think it's amazing. And I'm so grateful that it exists. And for all those women and men, right, that are out there looking to find the one, please see this amazing woman. They just do such great work. And I'm really grateful that you're out there.
Oh, thank you, Caroline. Thank you. Yeah, for the ladies who are beyond transforming their skin, are looking to really overcome trust issues, attracting emotionally unavailable men, and in general, just ready to stop dimming their light and being who they are, right? Like go to, like I said before, findoneelite.com and schedule your complimentary Find the Right Man clarity call with me, where we really go to the root. That's why I kept going back to how it relates to the skin, right?
Yeah, the root
of what's really going on versus just like cutting something out and pretending it was never there, because that never works.
That's right. You got it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Caroline, and I'll listen to you or talk to you later.
Okay. Thank you.